There's the dolphin with it, or a baby?
Killer whales are the largest members of the dolphin family. We call them whales because their size is so great. When these great big dolphins are hunting, they can use their size to great advantage. Mouths of killer whales have teeth that are cone-shaped. These are toothed whales, as opposed to the big baleen. Finna's eyesight is extremely sharp. He can probably see as well as a cat can see, and it doesn't matter whether his head's above the water or below it, because his eyes are protected by a thick stream of mucus that constantly flows over his eyes to protect them from that irritating salt water. When you swim in the sea, your eyes can get sore after a while, but killer whales and other whales and dolphins live in the sea, and so they can't afford to have that happen. So they have this protective mucus, a mark that happened when he was a youngster out in the wild. You see a little V-shaped notch there? Well, that's how everyone identifies Finna. Finna with the notch in his fin. Out in the wild, these differences help us to count the whales. That way we don't count the same whale twice. Imagine if Hans were a small harbor seal. That's right, clap if you'd like to show Finna you liked what he's doing. Not only can Finna hear you, he can see you, and his ears are much sharper than ours are, because whales, like killer whales, get around by using echolocation. That way they can be equally active in the daytime and at nighttime when they're hunting. Now, killer whales have very sensitive skin, and they enjoy having things rubbed on their skin, whether it's other killer whales or pieces of seaweed or shallow rocks. They like to go into shallow areas and rub on smooth rocks in a place called Robson's Bight in the Johnstone Strait. And because they enjoy it so much, and because people like to watch them there, they've actually set aside that area as an ecological reserve where the whales are protected from humans, and you can only go so close and no closer. That shows how far we've come in our regard for killer whales. We used to think of them as bloodthirsty monsters, and now we find them fascinating and quite surprising. When a killer whale's skin gets itchy, what better way for it to scratch than that? Killer whale skin is so sensitive that actually it gets sunburned once in a while, and when it's itchy the way humans get itchy with the sunburn, they'll side breach that way to get a good scratch. Now, those transient types of killer whales that feed on marine mammals will sometimes club them. They can club them with their tails because their tails are extremely powerful weapons. Killer whales out in the wild have been seen to hurl small marine mammals like seals and large ones like sea lions into the air over and over again with this powerful tail. But the resident populations, we think, feed exclusively on fish. The ones along BC's coast seem to like salmon the best, and yet they do the same kind of behavior, lobbing their tail in the air as they swim along. And we think that it's a kind of body language or expression of feelings or moods. When killer whales are doing this, it seems to happen when they're feeling angry or aggressive, or they're showing dominance among other members of their family.
I can't believe it.
Many of you know what Finna was saying? We'd like to know. A lot of research can answer them. Hans de Jager was working with Finna. Doug Pemberton was working with Hyak and White Wings, our dolphin. And Michelle Kerr was working with Bjossa. Thanks for your attention. Enjoy the rest of your day.